Hello, welcome to another video with me. If you are new to my channel, my name is Melissa. I am an illustrator and graphic designer primarily, but I have a background in fashion design and just an immense love for astrology. So in today's video, I went thrifting and I want to show you everything that I got and kind of go over the tactics that I went over when shopping, since I'm trying to narrow in my personal style. I only have timeless pieces that I know I would love for years to come, and overall a wardrobe that I am proud to have. Last week I made a video based off of finding your personal style based off of your astrological placements. It is super trending right now to base that off of your rising and Venus sign, and that formula does work for a lot of people. It works for me, but it may not work for everybody. So in that video, I kind of go over, if you don't resonate with your rising and or Venus, how to still take inspiration from your astrological placements and incorporate that into your style. Because even if you're not looking at your sun, moon, or rising, there are still other parts of your chart that are a part of your personality that can translate into a very beautiful or interesting wardrobe. Okay, so what I recommend is when you find out what your dominant placements are, I recommend making a top 3 and definitely ranking them, like 1 being your dominant, 2 as your secondary, and 3 as more of an undercurrent. For each of those 3 signs, like really break it down by the feeling you get, the fabric, the colors. So for Pisces, I get a lot of celestial vibes. I get very soft, flowy fabrics. I get the aesthetic dark ballet core. When it comes to Aries, which is my number 2, Aries is my sun sign and my Venus sign, the feeling I get from it is almost pinup-like. There is an Aries rising, her name is Joan Blondell, and she is also a soft natural, and she gives me very like classy but sultry vibes, and that is the vibe I get from an Aries placement. So it's also going to be satiny like Pisces, but there's going to be a little more boldness. It's going to be a lot more seductive and a lot okay with showing a little more skin. And also red. And then for Cancer, it's more of an undercurrent, and also a lot of Cancerian traits can also be found in Pisces. They're both ethereal, dreamy water signs. So for Cancer, I get a lot of velvet vibes, almost high fantasy inspired wear. I said you could do a 3, but if you absolutely need a 4th one, I would include personally my Scorpio, which is my chart ruler, but I do consider Aries and Scorpio to have a lot of similarities. So some of the traits that I've mentioned for Aries, I think also work with Scorpio as well. Another thing that I talk about on my channel is knowing your Kibbe body type and your color season, and how important it is while shopping. The reason why that is, just like a quick overrun, is your Kibbe body type is your body type that does not change whether you gain or lose weight, because it's based off of your body proportions, your height, and like the softness in your bones or the sharpness, and also proportions overall. And then your color season, it doesn't matter if you tan or get more pale with the seasons, your undertones don't change, and certain colors will always make you glow more than others. And the reason why I believe shopping or refining your style based off of these 3 elements is important is because as trends come and go, certain trends cater more to certain body types or certain skin tones. And it's just so good to know certain elements about us that don't change, so that when something is trending, we don't feel bad about ourselves that we can't incorporate that trend into our lives. And more so, if a trend is coming, we can see if it fits into our personal style, etc. Also, it's a great way to save money and save time when shopping. So you know right away, oh, that color looks great on that model, but I know it won't work with me, and that's totally fine. For reference, my Kibbe body type is a soft natural. I have already done a video showing different soft natural celebrities, so you have an idea of what soft naturals look like. Color season is a deep winter, so I concluded that through quite the journey, which I've mentioned in previous videos as well. And as always, I will show the timestamps down below if you want to skip around. So first, let me talk about thrifting and some thrifting tips. So my first stop was Goodwill. I personally love my Goodwill so much, the one near me, but I have had my fair share of Goodwills that seem to never have any good selection. Also really random, but my Goodwill smells really good. And I've been through a lot of thrift stores, and for some reason my Goodwill smells amazing. The first number tip, and I feel like this is a very common thrifting tip, but thought it'd be good to point it out first, is when you are shopping, look by color and fabric. So for fabrics, I tend to look for anything woven versus anything that is cotton and stretchy. Now, there's nothing wrong with jersey fabrics that are cotton and stretchy, as I'm obviously wearing something that is thrifted and is a cotton jersey. However, I tend to prioritize silk, satins, and woven fabrics. As you're looking through color, that's why I think it's good to know your color season. It's much easier to narrow down the colors that you know for sure will look good on you, so that you're not like jumping in and out of the dressing room. You can already narrow down the colors that you know will look best on you. Okay, so the next store I went to was Uptown Cheapskate, still a secondhand clothing shop. You can actually sell clothes here, and what I like too is that the clothes that they end up not buying from you, they will donate it for you, so it saves you a trip. If you don't have Uptown Cheapskate in your town or state, it's very similar to Plato's Closet, Crossroads, or Buffalo Exchange. Everything here was nicely curated and was about $10 to $20. It was very rare to find anything under $10, so definitely slightly more expensive than Goodwill. There was a lot of Shein and cider pieces, funny enough, which I'm not surprised about. As I've mentioned, trends have been coming and going at a rapid rate, and I think Shein and cider really cater to those fast trends. Start to realize that those trends don't quite fit their wardrobe, and they end up donating it or reselling it, and a lot of our secondhand clothing stores are filled to the brim with Shein and cider. Another tip is, when you're thrifting or just shopping in general, really keep in mind what you need. Whenever I go thrifting, it is so tempting to get some of these nice dresses, or if I see anything with a designer name, if I know for a fact I'm not going to wear it on a weekday or a daily basis, I shouldn't get it. I personally have enough formal wear in my closet, and I don't go out enough to justify getting it. So if you need more formal wear, then your mission may be a little different. And my last tip when thrifting, try on things as best as you can. Okay, so for outfit number 1, it is by far the most Pisces outfit that I found. It is a velvet celestial bodysuit that I got from Uptown Cheapskate. The velvet fabric, it also gave me that Cancer replacement, and it also complemented my soft natural kibbe with the open neckline as well. For outfit number 2, I have this satin bomber jacket paired with these Shein high-waisted pants. So I got the jacket from Goodwill, and I got the pants from Goodwill as well. So the pants are pretty basic. It's a very good essential, but that satin bomber jacket gave me Aries vibes. Aries almost has a boss type of vibe to it, and there was just something very commanding about this bomber jacket, but the satininess also gave this a bit of sultriness to it. So I don't know why, but this bomber jacket also gave me retro punk vibes, which is an aesthetic that I also love. Outfit number 3, we have what I call a velvet Joan Blondell bodysuit. So I've mentioned this before. Joan Blondell is an actress from the old Hollywood era. She is a soft natural like me, and she has broad shoulders, and she was known for wearing these outfits that actually highlighted her shoulders, and she didn't hide it, but she would pair it with very deep V necklines and then very commanding shoulders. So I would say the silhouette is very Aries, and it has that nod to Joan Blondell, and she is an Aries rising, and the velvet textures was a nod to that Cancer moon that I have mentioned. And it is a deep V neckline, as I've shown when I was trying on outfits at Uptown, but I did make it a little more modest with a lace tank top. I think I would wear it without the lace tank top if I was like going out to a nice dinner, but if I was going to work, I would wear that tank top to make it a little more modest. Outfit number 4, which is actually what I'm wearing right now. I jokingly wanted to call it my Y2K edgelord Bratz doll look. So I'm normally not a fan of bedazzled, but there is just something about it being a skull on a modest turtleneck that really spoke to me. And there's also these tassels on the side that really gave that nod to the early 2000s. I also paired it with a harness. I felt like, so personally, I don't normally wear turtlenecks. As I've mentioned, one of my insecurities is my broad shoulders, and I feel like turtlenecks or closed necklines in general kind of make me look wider. But when I wear my harness, it kind of tightens it a little bit and creates a shape that complements my soft and natural kibbe. In terms of astrological placements, I actually felt like it was a bit of Pisces and a bit of that Scorpio chart ruler that I have. So it's still very modest, like a Pisces. Overall, there was just like a Pisces vibe to it. And then that bit of Scorpio was from the skull. I know that's a bit on the nose, but that's just the feeling that I got from it. Next, I have this cherry dress that I got from Goodwill. It is very reminiscent of the 1950s, and it is another silhouette that reminded me of Aries Rising Joan Blondell. Also, it was very complimentary of a kibbe body type, so it has that open neckline and super emphasized details on the shoulders, and it also has that cherry motif that is very reminiscent of the 1950s. Joan Blondell was more prevalent before the 50s, but overall there is a very retro look to this, and if you're familiar with my account, I am a huge fan of retro looks. Lastly, I have this rose satin slip that was very reminiscent of the late 90s for me. It was very Aries Scorpio because of the red roses. I did, however, wear it with this ballet bolero that I got from a dance store. I have mentioned before, if you want to go for a dark ballet core aesthetic, shop at dance stores so that you actually get the same silhouettes that actual ballet dancers do wear. However, just be mindful of when shopping at these places, since some of these stores sell actual uniforms and you don't want to sell out on those. But I think it's okay to get some of the basics. Enough, when I was at Goodwill and I had the cherry dress and the rose satin slip peeking out, the lady at the cash register asked me if I was an Aries because she looked at my cart funny and she was like, "Are you an Aries? That's a lot of red." And it was so cute and it was so wholesome. And it kind of was a sign that the stars were aligning, that this video should go the way I want it to. So kind of a bonus round. I also want to show you some bags that I have thrifted. So the first bag is this burgundy saddle bag. It's originally from Target, but I thought it was a steal as $4. Also, I really love this shape. Saddle bags are really popular right now because of the Dior saddle bag. I got these Coach bags in December, but I never really got to talk about them. So since this is a thrift haul, I thought I'd take this chance. This is my absolute favorite Coach bag. It is estimated to be from either 93 or 94 based off of my research. There is a code inside of every Coach bag and it gives you an idea of what the year is, but it doesn't really matter. This Coach silhouette is my favorite. The leather is such a good quality. And I also got this Coach crossbody from Goodwill as well. I can't believe both of those were $7 and both were in very good condition. In conclusion, thrifting is always fun, but it just feels a lot less stressful, and I feel like I'm not wasting my time and money as much. I kind of have roots to always go back on, and those roots being my kibbe, my color season, and my astrological placement essence. Even if you are trying to hone in on what your ideal aesthetic is, your personal style, I think it's just such a good start to know those three elements, because those are things about you that you should honor. Those are things that don't change. And I swear, trends are changing so fast. It's kind of nice to know things about us that work irregardless. Because I love the combination of Kibi and astrology and how that correlates with one another, I'm thinking next week's video is going to be a continuation of Kibi and astrology and how they work with one another. But if you watched this whole video, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great week. Until next time, bye!